Taking the time to set up your suspension properly can significantly improve how your bike handles, your enjoyment of the trails, and shouldn't take more than a few minutes. You will need a shock pump and some O-rings on your forks, or a rubber band, and a willing helper. Because sag is a measurement of how much your bike moves into the suspension with your weight, it's important to set the sag whilst wearing your normal riding gear and a rucksack with your kit in, if you normally wear one. So why is the sag important? Well, it's all about setting how hard your suspension is. By getting the sag set correctly, it will mean your shock sits just enough into its travel to soak up the small bumps for comfort and grip, without bottoming out on the bigger hits. Most suspension is air sprung these days, so you can play around with the air pressure to get the suspension set up. For coil sprung suspension, you may have some manual adjustment, but you might need to change the spring if the sag is not correct. Let's start with the rear shock. Push it into the shock body. Now stand up into the ready position without bouncing, with a friend to hold the bars for balance. Remove the valve cap. You're looking for about 20 to 30% of the suspension's total travel, so that means the O-ring should be about a third of the way along the stroke of the shock. Try adding 5 to 10 psi or taking it away until you get it about right. Check the O-ring after the ride to make sure you're using full travel. If not, you could maybe tweak this to a little less pressure and more sag, and vice versa if you can feel the shock bottoming out too much. Use the same idea for setting the fork, but a slightly different method and desired amount. Again, set the O-ring or rubber band down against the seal. Be careful not to bounce the fork and avoid using the front brake when stopping to get off. You're looking for 20 to 30% on the front, so measure the distance from the fork seal to the O-ring. Once you've set your sag, you need to look at your compression and rebound. Compression is the rate at which the suspension uses its available travel. Too little compression and the fork or shock plunges through its travel easily, and too much means your suspension doesn't react to bumps. Rebound is the rate at which the suspension system returns to its original length after it's been compressed. Too much and the suspension system packs down on long descents, meaning you run out of travel and the spring cannot recover between hits. Too little and the suspension will pogo and top out. Look at the manuals for your forks and rear shock to see what adjustments for compression and rebound you have available. Aim for settings in the middle of the range on offer and tweak accordingly. It will take a certain amount of trial and error to find the settings that are right for you, and they'll vary depending on the terrain you're riding. Experiment with both compression and rebound, but remember that setting sag is the crucial first step.